Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back, of course, to the Time Bomb channel, and I hope all is good in your part of the world. So we've got something really quite special in on the channel today. Of course, the Rolex Ref 126719 BLRO GMT Master 2. And I confess fully that when first offered the watch for review, I was stunned, firstly due to the rarity of these things, and then I thought, well, I've never actually been that keen on meteorite dials, as to me they're a little bit fussy. Am I going to like it? A quick side note, of course, this one has been lent into the channel. Rolex wouldn't sell me one of these things, even if I could afford it. I then started thinking, so let's zoom in a little there. I then started thinking, well, the watch design itself is pretty uncommon. That Pepsi combination with over the meteorite. It's kind of rare to see that. Will I be able to say that the meteorite itself actually works? In that dial. And then I opened the box, had a look at it, and it kind of slapped those doubts away for me in an instant. It shouldn't work, but it does. It contains so many things in a watch that I dislike. It's too shiny, it's too busy, it's made of gold, and it costs more than I could ever afford in my life. To me, that sums up as a watch that's both unnecessary and unrealistic. And by that I mean, if you look, say, for example, at their Explorer, to me that as a watch design and a watch to wear is both necessary and realistic. I really don't know if we could say the same thing about this one. But then, of course, I put it on wrist, as I will show you here, and oddly and frustratingly, I had to chuckle to myself, because I thought, despite all of those things that I dislike about it, I think the damn thing works. It just looks really very, very good indeed. Apologies, it's been sized up for the owner, so I can just get it over my hand here, so I can't give you any real wrist shots. But I don't think you'll need those on my wrist, because you can look at this watch and get that idea for yourselves. Just a couple of key specs then, of course. This is the 40mm versions, just across the bezel there, probably extending out to around 45, with that slightly protruding crown off the side. It's a little bit smaller, I think, than most of my other watches, but it certainly does not lack for wrist presence in any way. Up top then, of course, you've got that Pepsi Cerachrome ceramic 24-hour bezel, which is bi-directional, as you would expect, and an odd sound to it and an odd movement. I don't think you can actually the camera will pick it up. Like a little soft, smooth but chunky action to it as it pops around there. Yeah, it's kind of an odd feeling, actually. It's just really not what you would expect at all from a bezel action. But yeah, very good. Obviously, then this version being the white gold. Obviously, so then your case body and your oyster bracelet then full all gold, complete gold, making it much heavier than the stainless steel equivalents. But I don't think that weight would be a deal breaker, simply due to the size of the case head there. I think it just keeps it manageable. What to me, though, would be a deal breaker is how easy it would be to mark up that much softer metal with dings, etc. Added to that, I mean, they call it white gold, but depending on the light, I don't see that as being white gold at all. It's much grayer. Almost like a coppery bronzy tone to it, little orange. Yeah, not like the white gold that you might find, say, on wedding rings or your wife's jewelry. Rolex, of course, they do boil up their own gold, so giving them full control over those 18 carats. And I think if we look up close, you can see that the result is a blemishless sheen of absolute quality. It's gorgeous material, really is. As you can see, of course, with this one then, still has some of those stickers on. Just give you some close-ups then of the innards. It was quite tough to find the dot logo down there at the 6, just because of the shininess of everything underneath. Over on the crown, our screw down crown, as you can see, we've got the triple lock function indicated by the larger dot in the center, and that red lacquer GMT hand, and of course the watch itself only carrying 100 meters worth of watery goodness, as is befitting of the range. And then, yeah, about time we addressed the meteorite in the room, I think. It might not be everyone's preference, I think, because it really does dominate that dial face. I mean, yeah, it almost sounds like a stupid thing to say that's what happens, but it is really so powerful behind that crystal. Of course, depending on where you catch it, the light, how it moves off it, yeah, very special indeed. That little slice of rock, I think, also probably won a lot of respect, or should have won some respect, ploughing its way through the Earth's atmosphere and landing in and around Gibeon in Namibia. These rocks, of course, were brought to our attention by this splendid-looking fellow, General Sir Alexander, seen here sporting the best set of mutton chops that I've seen in a very long time. Meteorite is certainly not new on watches and jewellery, but I'm surprised that there isn't more information on the ROLEX website about a rock that's been on the planet since around the time of the woolly mammoth, and now appearing here on this watch dial. To me, that's kind of a cool backstory. The striations in the rock that you can see on the dial are created by both camosite and taenite, apparently. Personally, I'd never heard of either of them before I'd done my research on that individual rock. Thus, a limited supply of this dial material, impossible to replicate. No two are going to look the same. Mother Nature thus creating something which just adds another layer of organic individuality, I think, to this watch. Which, if you're in the market for something like this, I think is going to really tick all the boxes of everything that you could possibly demand of it. However, I think that for some people, the legibility might be an issue on these. It's not that clear in all lights. There's a lot of shiny going on here. There's a lot of similar tones, of course, between the hour markers, the hands, the silver shine off that dial as well. As I say, sometimes in some lights, it's kind of difficult to tell what time it is. Also, just to note down here at the bottom with our ref number, you can see the small coronet in the center between the Swiss and Made, differentiating this version from the previous 116719 ref. Buzzing away inside then, we have the newer 3285 movement, providing you with up to a whopping 70 hours worth of power reserve, and of course that movement qualifying for the superlative chronometer label. I think you'd be pretty hard pressed to find equivalent timekeeping, reliability and accuracy from other movements. It provides around, 1 + 1 - 2 seconds a day. That's not a bad accuracy on a watch. And of course, not forgetting, lastly, the hauntingly beautiful blue lume that just pops out of that dial. I mean, just so strong, even with just a slight shift in the light. The GMT, to me, on a watch, it has ticks a lot of the boxes of that daily wear attribute that one might look for in a watch. And the original concept of that pilot's watch clearly running through the golden veins of this individual beastie. But that's the contradiction in terms that kind of amuses me also about this watch. It's like a Thule-esque, wearing around the world travel-y watch that costs, an arm and a leg, and is made out of white gold. It just really is an absolute juxtaposition, in concepts. All right, guys, thanks as always for your time and for your view. Very much to look forward to your comments down below on this one. So I think it might be a little divisive for some of you. And I think it's also a little bit of a step up from some of our normal horological delights. Thanks as always for your time and for your view. Hope you've enjoyed this one. And of course, until the next vid, this is your host, the Bombardier, signing off. Cheers.